With Fredric. Fredric, just give us a little bit of a insight to what it's been like after winning your first title last year.
Hey guys. Well, winning the championship was a 10-year-old dream for me. You know, it came true, and it's been a great off season. I've been back in Europe, been practicing on frozen lakes. I was part of a movie set, driving stunts for a month, trying to stay busy and get back in the zone for this season. You know, obviously the goal is to make a repeat. Got it again. We've made numerous changes to the car. Obviously Nexon being a big change and a welcoming new partner of ours. Steph's been working tirelessly on the car. So it's a great feeling, and it's a great feeling and relief to accomplish your dream, but the goal moving forward is to stay hungry and get back in the game and try and beat all these guys.
Last year you won 4 events, 5 if you include Canada. Where do you think this puts you in the pound for pound best ever drift talk?
Well, I do, check into Rec Magazine and the likes throughout the off season, and I like the banter. I like the talks, the discussion, and everything. And I guess last year was really extraordinary. Hearing you guys announce the bonus this year with Black. So you guys announced a 25 grand bonus for the winner of Long Beach and New Jersey and Seattle. And looking back, we actually won all those rounds last year. So it was truly extraordinary. It would be hard to repeat that this year, but we'll definitely do our best.
To Chris, you're the only active driver that's doing the full season that's won 2 championships. What is your mindset going into this season as you try to rewrite the history books again?
Yeah, I mean, people ask us all the time, how do you go into another season? We've been doing it since day one. We have, a great record, but, just like Aasbo said, you got to stay hungry, you got to keep pushing. We made, some good improvements on the car. We're feeling very comfortable. Our team is very on point, and, we're just looking to just try and keep crushing those records. We want to perform well and do well, and not just be, a driver that runs in the series and then, slowly fades away, I guess you could say. So we're always looking to push hard and stay on top as long as we're running in Formula Drift.
Another record you have is you're also one event win away from tying Sam Hubenet.
I mean, are those things important to you? Do you think about them a lot?
Yeah, there's one thing that really annoys me, and it's the fact that Sam Hubenet has still had the win record since 2007, which is incredible. So hats off to him. And I've been one win behind him for a very long time, and a lot of other people are gaining. Dario Yoshihara, Fredric Aasbo, we're all slowly closing on that record, but he got a real good run on us in the 04-05 seasons. But yeah, I mean, that's obviously a record we'd like to take as well, on top of the podium record, but the win as well. But just like Fredric and all these guys are going to say is at the same time, always looking to push hard and stay on top of the podiums.
Moving over to Ryan Tuerck and talking a little bit about the event coming up this weekend. You've had some success here in the past. What is Long Beach like for you, and how scary is it to throw that brand new car into a course with only walls?
It's definitely it's an exciting round. I mean, this is where everybody gets to show off the new stuff, and everybody kind of sees how hard they've been working in the off season, and you kind of find out where everybody's at. So it's definitely an exciting round, and it's really cool to bring out the new cars, looking all fresh and shiny. And after this round, still fingers crossed that everything comes out unscathed and clean. But I've had some success here in the past, and just hoping to capitalize on that and get another win. It's been since 2009 when I got my first win ever in Formula D, and that was here. So it'd be really nice to do that again.
We've seen the preview of your vehicle. We've seen some testing that you've been doing. Can you tell us a little bit about your program?
We've had some major changes. A lot of that has been in the sponsor department. It's been, it's been a really busy off season, and coming into this year, I now have the most support I've ever had from sponsors and the Nameless Performance guys. So we've made some drastic improvements in the car since last year, and we're really looking to better ourselves in the championship race, and then hopefully come to Irwindale and being in the points race.
All right, moving over to Odi. Odi, last year you came rearing out pretty hard, and you had an early lead in the championship after round 2. What did you learn about the competitive season last year as you look to chase for a championship this year?
Well, running with these top guys, I really get reminded that one little mistake will cost you a lot at the end of the season, and we had a few little mistakes towards the end of the season, and it's just I think that's the biggest lesson from last season. It's so competitive in this series right now that you have to be on point, and your car's got to be on point.
Now, you've gone full time to the Hyundai chassis, right? And what do you think people can expect from you out of this car compared to your previous vehicle?
Well, this car is very different. It's fast, but it's completely different dynamic driving it, and I actually really enjoy it. I'm just stoked to be in a newer chassis that's more relevant, and that's kind of the exciting part for me, is just to kind of develop myself as a driver and a new chassis. So it's an exciting season for me for sure.
Anybody from the general media have any questions for these 4 drivers?
So you guys started out just driving cars, having fun with your friends, and now you're pros, you're team owners, you're international competitors. What kind of lesson, or what was the best or biggest lesson that you learned from when you started till today in FD, growing from kind of how it was grassroots to being kind of the hottest thing in the globe right now? I mean, people talk about FD being, it just has a cool factor, but what have you guys learned from that?
Don't take it too seriously. I think the hardest thing is to have a passion for the sport and to do this for over 10 years at this point. I mean, things can get stale, and you kind of have to always find that next drive to bring yourself to the next level. And I think that is not taking anything too seriously as a full-time job, even though it is, and we all work our absolute butts off to make programs happen and find sponsors and do the professional side of the sports. But I think making sure that you still do the grassroots events, and you always go back to why you started doing this in the first place, is a very important thing for me, speaking personally anyways. And that's what has really kept me driving, to just being able to have a blast every year and be stoked to show up and get behind the wheel every single day, or every single time I get to drive the car.
My question's kind of about Pro 2. Pro 2 was something that was introduced about 2 years ago. Last year, it looked like there were a couple guys that were ready to jump in right away and be competitive. So a couple of you guys have come up from the Pro-Am ranks and kind of been that Rookie of the Year and gotten the spotlight straight out of the amateur ranks, I guess you could call it. Do you think the Pro 2 structure is working well, and do you think that there might be an opportunity for some of these international guys to jump right in straight to Pro 1 and be competitive?
I think the Pro 2 structure is working really well, because as a rookie jumping in to do all the rounds it's kind of tough. You don't have all the backing yet, and it's a big financial burden. So I think it's allowing more new drivers to come in and only commit to a handful of series or a handful of events and be able to do a full series. So I think it's working really well in that regard, and they're getting a good spotlight. I mean, I definitely keep my eye on the Pro 2 drivers. I get to see them at all the big events. So.
Any other comments?
I was going to say, if you want me to add to it. Yeah, I mean, I was always pushing for a second tier class for Formula Drift, Pro 2 being what it is now. And you see a lot of drivers they come in really hard, new cars, and Long Beach being one of the killers for a lot of people. Brand new car, putting all their money into it, trying to get their program off the ground, come in, have a bad wreck, in an untested car, just kind of putting the cart before the horse, and then you kind of see them struggle to come back from that. So, like Odi said, having this second class, I mean, obviously the third class being Pro-Am, and then slowly working their way up till they're comfortable and they can actually come into the series and be competitive.
Any other comments or questions from the media? All right, well, big thanks to Fredric, Chris, Ryan, and Odi, and that will conclude the media briefing here this morning. These guys will be available for one-on-ones if you'd like to see them, so give them a round of applause.